Hi YouTube, this is Simply Wani and I'm here to talk to you about the new show on ABC, Wonder Years, episode 2, titled Green Eyed Monster. Now this episode picks up exactly where the last episode left off, with Dean sad because he found out that Corey and Keisa kissed. But I guess it's the following couple of days, and around the whole world, all the churches are having memorial services for Dr. King after he died. And Dean and his whole community, they go to church to memorialize and to grieve Dr. King's death. And Dean, he's kind of sad about Dr. King, but he's more concerned because in the church he looks over and sees Corey and Keisa sitting next to each other. That makes him mad. And then the pastor says, "Let's all pray and sing." And Dean, he looks over and see Corey and Keisa holding hands, and he all sad and stuff. And he's like, "Why, God? Why?" And everybody think he's like really torn up over Dr. King dying, and that would be understandable. Some people were, but he wasn't. He was being petty. But everybody thought he was sad about Dr. King dying, and his mom said it's okay. He's so sensitive, and they guess they understood because they thought he was sad about that, but he wasn't. He was being petty. And then he said, okay, so Corey gets to hold Keisha's hand while I'm sitting on this stool talking to this dude, sitting next to this dude who looked like he went to school with Moses. So everybody started praying. They started getting the service started and everything. And after that, they go home, and his dad notices that Dean is still inside his school clothes. He's not out of not his school clothes. I'm sorry, not his school clothes, his church clothes. And his dad says, "Oh, you still inside your school clothes?" And Dean's like, "Yeah, there's no point in changing my clothes anyway." I know I said school clothes again. Sorry, church clothes. And Dad thinks that he is so torn up about Dr. King dying, but he's not. Everybody knows that. And his dad was about to say, about your outburst today. But before he could start that, inside the kitchen, Kim is having an argument with her mom, Lillian, because Kim wants to go out and hang out, have a rally with her friends, Kwambe and her girls. Her girl Vista, and I think her other girl name was Lily. And her mom says, "No, you are not going out right now. We just came from being out. You can stay here and hang out with the family, especially during this time." And Kim brought up a good point that sitting around doing nothing isn't going to solve the problem. And I can go to this rally and start doing some things. And the mom and Lillian said rallies lead to riots. And she was kind of right about that. A lot of rallies do lead to riots. And she wanted to hang out with Kwambe X. And her daddy was like, "What type of militant name is that? His name is not no Kwambe X. That boy name is Albert. And you can see Albert later." So Kwambe Albert, he calls and Dean answers, and he says, "Yeah, you want to talk to Kim, Kwambe? You're gonna have to call Kim back later, like next year." And he hangs up the phone on him. Okay, so the next scene goes to Dean in class, and everybody just staring at him. I guess they staring at him to see how he was doing since Dr. King had died. But that dude, he didn't know that man personally. I don't know why them kids were staring at him. Yes, I do know. I'm not gonna say it though, but y'all know why they were staring at him. And he just wanted everybody to stop staring at him and stuff. And his teacher brings the papers back. They took a test or they did homework, and she put the papers back, and he got a C on his thing. And she comes to him and says, "Dean, you got a C. You usually do better work than a C." And he says, "Yeah, I don't know what happened." But then the real Don Cheadle, the grown-up Dean, Don Cheadle, says he knew what happened. Because that night he was supposed to be doing his homework was the same night he saw Corey and Keisa kissing. And he was crying. And he did some of his work, but throughout his work, he kept crying. So he couldn't focus good. And his teacher was like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna let you get an A anyway because of everything that happened. And he was like, wait, what's this? I can use this type of credit to get away with doing things. And he was doing that all day. In gym class, his teacher told him to climb the rope. And he said, I can't climb that rope because Dr. Martin Luther King didn't get to climb the mountaintop. And he was like, his teacher was like, okay, you don't gotta do that, but go to the guidance counselor for a while. And he went to the guidance counselor. He was chilling back eating candy. He didn't need that lady. And the guidance counselor was like, do you need to talk? And he said, no, I need to talk, but you could fill up these snacks. And the real Don Cheadle was like, he knew that taking advantage of teachers was wrong and he should have did his work, but he got his heart broken, so what can he say? And at home, his mama was dealing with her grief over the death of Dr. King by cooking like it was Thanksgiving dinner. And Dean still didn't care that he didn't do his schoolwork, which he should have been doing his school. Okay, and so the next day at school, Keisa asks Dean if they could ride bikes after school. And he gets a little happy and says, yeah, we could ride bikes. And then Corey comes back and says, okay, I'll ride with y'all. And Dean like, no. And he's like, why? Because I said so. And then Corey's like, okay, but how come you ain't wait at the bus with me? I was waiting for you for hours. And Dean's like, I don't know where I was at. And Corey, they keep going back and forth like this all day. And Corey was like, what's wrong with you? And Dean was like, he thought he was going to be righteous and say, ain't nothing wrong with me. What's wrong with you? And he was like, no, what's wrong with you? And he had nothing to say about that. And then Keisa comes back and says, can y'all stop it? And then the teacher tells them, Corey, Keisa, Dean, come up here and talk to me. Y'all know you ain't supposed to be talking in class. And they said, what is wrong with you guys? And Dean is like, I'm sorry. I just had such a hard time after Dr. King's death. And then the teacher's like, oh, I'm sorry. And then Corey was like, yes, it affected us all. He was doing the same thing Dean did. And Don Cheadle was like, I can't believe this dude. First he stole my girl, and then he gonna steal my white guilt card. And he's like, and the teacher's like, okay, I know you guys are sad. Why don't you guys do a project so that we can see how you're feeling and dealing with this? And they like, okay. But then Dane's like, I don't know why he did this. He should have just kept his big mouth shut. He would have been in a project with him. He said, you know what? I want to do my own project. Can I do my own project? And the teacher's like, okay, Dane, you do your own project. Corey and Keisa, y'all can do a project together. And they all sit down, and this dude mad as heck. And then he get back home, and Don Cheadle narrates, I don't know why I'm mad for, because it was my big dumb mouth that got me into this mess. And he throws his bike down. And his daddy getting ready to go fishing. And the daddy sees the son sad and stuff and says, you want to go fishing with me? Get your mind off things. And the son like, yes, I'm so sad about Dr. Martin Luther King. And I was getting ready to go into the house to start crying or something. And the daddy said, no, come with me. Go fishing. And he goes fishing with his daddy. And while they fishing, they just sitting there waiting for something to be caught. And they just talking. And the daddy, he having some good points about what he was saying. And he's talking about the fish and how the fish in the river, they don't have to worry about people being mean. It's a lot of fish in the river, and they don't have to worry about people up at the top being mean, treating people bogus, sometimes killing people because they look different than other people. And Dane listening to his daddy talking about some good stuff, but he ain't trying to hear that. He is still mad because Corey and Keisa kissed. He is so petty. But in the back of his mind, he did know it was stupid to get mad over a kiss when a profound leader of the world just died, and he just worried about petty things, a boy and a girl kissing. So they go to the next scene, and it's the next day at school, and Dean gives his project. It was a nice project. He had poster boards, he had trifold boards with a lot of information about Dr. King's life and all his legacies and how he felt about it. It was a nice presentation. And he sits down, and the teacher said, okay, Dean, you get an A. And he all happy and stuff. And then Corey and Keisa get up there. I don't think they was really prepared. They probably read a little snippet inside a magazine or a newspaper. And they give their little presentation about how Dr. King and Gandhi were alike, and how Dr. King took some of what he learned when he was little, when he was younger, I should say, and used it the way Gandhi used it. And Corey just says, Dr. King was from Indiana. And everybody in the class clapped. And the teacher said, okay, y'all got an A. And then Dean like, what the heck? They don't deserve an A. And then everybody leave class. And Dean comes up to them and says, I did all the work. I did a whole bunch of this project. Y'all didn't do anything. And they like, but this was your idea. And they said, I saw y'all two kiss. And they was like, oh. And they said, we didn't do anything wrong. And Dean was like, that's not the point. Friends are not supposed to kiss. And Keisa was like, we'll do whatever the heck we want to do. Right, Corey? And Corey just looking there like, yeah, whatever. And then they get into a big fight. And then she's like, come on, Corey. And then Corey just follows her. And that makes him even madder. So he goes back home and does the same thing he did the other day. Throws his bike on the lawn. But this time his mama, his sister, and his daddy, they come out the house. And the sister sees that he's upset, thinking that he's still sad that Dr. Martin Luther King died. That's not why he was sad at all. But she tell her mama and daddy, y'all go on fishing. I'm gonna go take Dean to get ice cream. So she takes him to get the ice. No, she didn't take him to get ice cream. They went to see Kwame X and the Junior Black Panthers. And they go there, and Kim. Kim takes him to where Kwame X is, and it's like a small Junior Black Panther meeting. And they are there, and Kim and him talking for a while, and she sees that he has a gun. They're getting ready to go to a rally. And she asks him, what you got that gun for? We're supposed to do a peaceful rally. And he says, I know, this is just for protection. It's just for protection. And Dean can see that his sister is afraid. And she's afraid, and she knows that her brother is afraid. And Dean plays my asthma acting up. I need my asthma medicine. And Keisa's like, oh, you need your asthma medicine. Oh, okay. Yeah, Kwame X, I got to take him home. I got to bring him his asthma medicine. And Kwame X says, see, I showed you shouldn't have brought the little sissy. And she gets real mad, like, my brother is not a sissy. He was brave enough to come here, even though he was terrified of coming here. That doesn't make him any less of a person than you are. And she got really mad at him. She broke up with him and said, come on, Dean. And they left. But before they left, Dean turned around and told that whole room, you know Kwame X's real name Albert, and kind of lowered out Kwame X's credibility inside that situation. And they just left. And then they get home, they walking home, eating the ice cream, and Dean's like, I'm sorry you broke up with that guy. I know you really liked him. And Kim was like, I don't need to be dating stupid boys anyway. He was so stupid. I should not be dating boys that say library instead of library. But she didn't want her mama to know that. I guess she still wants to be a little rebellious towards her mama. So they get home laughing and joking, and they get back in the house. And the daddy was like, okay, yeah, your mama, I took her fishing and she caught a fish. And they open up that pot. It's like rice and greens all around a little tiny fish. A fish like that big, y'all. And they all start laughing, coming to mama saying, isn't that what you're supposed to use to catch bigger fish? And they all clowning laughing. And the daddy said, okay, Kim, go get your dollhouse plate so we can eat this little thing. And she said, and the mama said, I am very happy of this catch. Forget y'all. So that's how I go. And Dean realized that it was stupid to fight with your friends over stupid things when there are bigger things in the world worth crying about and worth being worried over. So he goes to talk to Corey at the lockers the next day because he wanted to be the bigger person and apologize, be friends again. And he goes up and says, Corey, I'm sorry, but then Corey interrupts him and saying, Keisa says she doesn't like me. And Dean feels kind of sad for his friend because Corey feels as bad as Dean did when Dean saw them kiss. And he's like, she only kissed me because Dr. King died. And he was like, I thought she really liked me. And Corey looked like he was going to cry. He wasn't going to cry in the car. He was going to cry right there in that school. And Dean was like, okay. So he took him fishing because I guess that opened his eyes when his daddy took him fishing and showed him that it's more things in the world to be sad over. And they went fishing, they talked, and they didn't know this, but the place they was fishing at was private property. So they friends again, but now they gotta run for their life because they don't want this old man to catch them. They ran off that property so fast. Man, them boys were so fast. And the episode ends there. And that was episode 2 of the Wonder Years, the Green Eye Monster. And if you like this, like the video, or you don't have to like the video, just give it a thumbs up or whatever. But thank you, YouTube, and I will see you again in the next video.